State your name, your age, what weight class you're in.
Frankie McGlaughlin. I'm 25 years old. I'm a heavyweight, making my pro debut.
What's your amateur record?
My amateur MMA record is 2-1.
When did you first start training?
First started when I was 14 years old. I've been doing it ever since, so about 11 years of training at this point.
How did you first get attracted to the sport of MMA?
Oh, as a kid, I was a big boxing fan. It wasn't until I started training that I became a fan of MMA. I didn't even know what it was as a kid. So yeah, once I started training, I got into it as a fan and been watching ever since.
What do you remember about your first training session?
I don't really remember much. It's been a long time, but I just remember I had a very good time, and I've just loved the sport ever since.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Why?
He's such a good role model for the sport. Never cheated, doesn't do drugs, doesn't drink. He's very disciplined. He does it the right way, and he retired undefeated on top. So I look up to him a lot.
How would you describe your fighting style?
Damn good. I'm good everywhere. Recently, the last year or so, I've been working a lot on my wrestling. I used to be the guy that I could strike with anybody, and then if you took me down because you didn't want to deal with my striking, you had to deal with my jiu-jitsu. But I never really had the ability to put guys on the ground myself. I've been working that heavily, and I feel very improved there. So really, I'm an all-around good fighter.
What's your main goal for the sport of MMA?
I want to be considered the best heavyweight of all time.
What do you think you need to do to achieve that goal?
Win, keep winning, and just beat everybody. You know, once you beat everybody, you're the best.
Tell us about the gym that you train at.
I train at Iowa Martial Arts Center. It's in Waterloo, Iowa. Got a good group of guys. It's definitely an MMA focused gym. We don't do too much like kickboxing comp or jiu-jitsu, but I think in MMA we set ourselves apart from the rest of the competition in Iowa. My coach is Colin Heidemann.
What do you think his coaching style is like compared to some others that you've had?
He cares. He cares about guys that come in on their first day and the guys who have been around for years.
What separates Iowa Martial Arts Center from other gyms that you've trained at?
I think our knowledge of the game. A lot of gyms, especially locally, they do their kickboxing days, their jiu-jitsu days. Sometimes they'll mix, but there just seems to be a gap on the in-between positions, and I don't think anybody does it better than us.
So you're making your pro MMA debut here in a couple weeks. What does that mean to you?
It means so much. You know, I've been training for 11 years now. Like, this feels like the accumulation of a long time of hard work. I'm very excited to just display all the skills that I've got. I've worked so hard, and this is a good opportunity for me to know just how good I really am. And that's all I've really ever wanted, to just know.
Tell us about your opponent for this upcoming fight.
His name's Pedro Gomez. He's 1-1 as a professional. He was 1-1 as an amateur. I know he's kickboxed before as well. He's a state champion wrestler. He sounds like a well-rounded fighter. strong competitor. I've seen some video of his fights. He comes hard. I just don't think he's on my level.
So this fight is in his hometown as well. How do you feel about that?
It'll be interesting. Marshalltown, there's a lot of stories about Marshalltown, but I'm excited. I'm going to go into enemy territory, take his head off, and go home with a pocket full of cash.
How do you foresee this fight ending?
I think I'm going to finish him. I'm not sure how. I see it a couple different ways. I think he'll be really tough in the first round. And then after that, I think I'll break his spirit. It's going to be good. Like I said, I'm expecting a tough first round. But I'm going to finish Pedro. And don't be surprised if I make it look easy. I'm fighting for Ignite Fights. It's Iowa Fight Series #2 in Marshalltown, Iowa. At least around here, they're a fairly new promotion. I was at their first event in Iowa, and it was good production. I really liked the entrances, especially.
How can people watch your fight?
Well, there's tickets available online. There's tickets at the door. You can also watch the pay-per-view on spectationsports.com. If you need tickets, just hit me up.
Tell us a little bit about your preparation for this fight.
This is the hardest I've ever trained for a fight. This is the best shape I've ever been in my life. I'm training all the time. I'm training with good guys. I'm peaking right now. Pedro's in trouble.
What would you say your biggest strength is?
My biggest strength, I'd say, is my will to win. Either that or my natural talent.
So tell us more about your training. Who are your main training partners?
I'm training with a lot of good guys. On this card that I'm fighting on, we've got Mark Morgan. He's 1-0 amateur. He fought heavyweight. He's going to 205. He's got an interesting fight on his hands. Also on the card that I've been sparring with is Matthew Olson, the pretty boy. He's been asking me for a shout out on one of these, so I had to shout him out. But they're both good fighters. They're going to have tough fights on their hands early on the card. Also, we've got Chuy Silva, another heavyweight I've been training with for a while. He's pretty good. Been training a lot with Logan Poss, Dakota Vance, my coach, Colin Heidemann. All high-level guys. All good wrestlers as well. So they're able to give me that look that Pedro's going to bring to me.
So you've trained at a lot of good gyms around the country, basically. Tell us a little bit about that.
So a couple of the biggest gyms I've trained at, I've trained in LA at 10th Planet HQ with Eddie Bravo, Jeremiah Vance, Patrick Donabedian, a lot of good guys over there. Spent a little bit of time at American Top Team. I didn't really get to train with anybody noteworthy out there, but I spent a good amount of time in Colorado at High Altitude Martial Arts, and also sparring with the guys over at Elevation Fight Team. I was a sparring partner for Alistair Overeem, Curtis Blades, Muhammad Usman, Zach Ponga, Chase Sherman. A lot of guys. I trained with a lot of good guys out there. It was a tremendous experience for me, and it really toughened me up and showed me like better ways to train, smarter ways to train, and it was good work.
How does that training experience translate to you today?
Man, if I can even sparring, but there were a lot of hard sparring days, like standing across from Curtis Blades, like top 5 heavyweight in the world. You know, any of these local guys, like they've got nothing on him, and I've stood across from him. Had a lot of good rounds, so I'm ready for anything, especially with Pedro. Like he's got nothing on those guys, so.
So once again, going back to your experience training at a lot of different places, what separates the coaching that you have now versus in the past?
The attention to detail. A lot of those big gyms, like there's so many guys, the coaches, they can't spend time on the individual, you know, so it gets kind of spread out, and the message gets diluted. Whereas I think in these smaller, more close-knit gyms, the potential for growth is especially like the rate of growth is so much faster. Like you're able to really break things down and learn at an intricate level, and it's good work, you know. I think like the biggest pros to those big gyms is you're never lacking in sparring partners, but what you are lacking in is that individual coaching, that attention to detail, and for me that's very important.
Tomorrow, if you got a contract for UFC, one championship, Bellator, PFL, where are you going?
UFC.
Why?
The best fighters in the world are in the UFC. I now want to be the best. Legacy is more important than money to me, but they go hand in hand, so you know, I'll take both.
What do you think about the status of the Iowa heavyweight MMA scene right now?
You know, I mean, there's not too many guys that are super noteworthy. You know, a lot of the guys, they once they get up in their pro career, they leave, they abandon their roots, and I want to be the first guy to make it from Iowa that stayed in Iowa. Loyalty is important to me, and I truly believe with the team I have now that I can make it far. So that's my plan, and I'm just going to take over Iowa, then the Midwest, then the country, then the world. That's my plan.
What's your main motivation?
Legacy, for sure, is a big one. Like I said before, I want to be known as the greatest heavyweight of all time. I've been chasing that dream for the last 10, 11 years. That's very important to me. I want to be a household name. And, you know, I have a son. His name's Logan. And I just want to show him that you can do anything you put your mind to. Hard work and dedication. You know, just go for your goals and make them happen, and you'll get to where you want to be, or you'll find success in other ways. But either way, you know, I just want to live a life that makes him proud of me. The rest of my family, I want to live so that they're also proud of me, and I just want to show them. I just want to show them that they can do anything.